regardless.
Yeah, well, let's see who the pick is here for SK Telecom T1. Who are they going to throw out against SOS on Foxtrot Labs? I saw innovation there on the left.
Ooh, well, he's no doubt going to be
I wonder if he's coming out today.
Oh, maybe.
And it's going to be Dark.
Okay. Not a bad choice. I think you just have to, right? Like, he's been such a hyped player in recent times. He has the potential to do amazing. He can beat anyone on a good day, but the good days have been far and few between. Valdez, they just haven't been coming his way. He's been dropped out of, like, I believe, both individual leagues at this point.
Yeah. They even said that in the interview, kind of talking about how Dark was very sad, but Innovation was very happy. This guy definitely hasn't had the best couple of weeks, but he is still a very strong player. Do not underestimate this player. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, he gets kicked out of both leagues in the round of 16. This guy's underrated. What are people overrated? What are people saying about this guy? Why do they keep saying he's the best Zerg in the world and stuff like that? Well,
he should be.
He's definitely got that skill set, but in the past 2 weeks, he hasn't made it work. And I think he's going to be prepared for this one. Even the Jin Air coach was like, well, he hasn't been doing well in individual leagues, so I guess he's practicing his heart out for Pro League.
He has to be at this point. I mean, what else does he have against someone
SOS
like
is
SOS?
So surprised to see Dark in the booth.
Well, he's like, another cannon rush.
Looks a little bit more nervous for this one.
Yeah,
Taking a deep breath.
It's like, holy crap, I won. Like, I got to keep playing now. I can do this, guys. It's time for the return of $. Make that money, son. Make it today.
Taking another deep breath here is SOS.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah. He recently did the 10 questions, 10 answers in English. It's very funny. You guys can check it out somewhere on Reddit. Or wait for the commercial in which it comes out on. But regardless, this guy a very fun and strong player, strong Protoss. He's going up against Dark here on Foxtrot Labs. Who is going to win this game for their team? Let's jump into the game. Up here in the top right, in the red, the Zerg player for SK Telecom T1, it is Dark.
And here in the bottom left, it is SOS, up one game, taking down Sue with a delicious cannon rush.
We fly to the victory. So the generic green wings are, I believe, some of those signs were being shown in the last season as well. Very passionate fans, as we have found out today, as well as in previous playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I remember a lot of the stewardesses coming down to a lot of their big matches. Not here today.
Yeah,
there's not enough room for them here today.
I guess that must be why, right?
There's like too many people standing in this whole entire space. It's like a fire hazard at this point.
You maybe fit like 1 or 2 in, maybe? Like, it's actually
only the hottest ones. Like
you said it, Valdez. Especially
yeah,
on a Valentine's Day, man.
Of course. Maybe they can find a lucky suitor in the audience, a lucky nerd.
Lucky nerd, there's a lot of them that are lonely and that have chocolates. That's how you find them. The nerds with the chocolates are the ones that are the saddest.
Of course, man. I hope we don't get chocolates then. I don't want to be sad either.
Well, I bought myself a chocolate, Valdez. What does that mean?
What have you done, Minglade? What are you trying to say?
Taking it even further. We are seeing an early gas. No surprise there from Dark. Yeah. It is the map for "Tis the Season" to make speedlings.
'Tis the season for cannon rushes as well, I guess you can say.
Yeah, but not on this map, it seems. And no big surprise there. It is a much more aggressive map for Zerg specifically. And we are seeing that sort of gateway on the top of the ramp to get that early block off.
Yeah, super safe.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a Nexus behind it, but it'll give you the option to put a Cybercore up there after that. Make a Zealot, block it off to stop any speedlings kind of trying to run by, as we saw Rogue against, who was it again? It was Rogue against some Protoss on this map. He went for nothing but a speedling all in, and it completely failed. It was a KT player. Damn it, I can't remember right.
KT Protoss, would it be stats?
Yes, it was Stats against Rogue. That horrible 3-0 we saw.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
On Thursday.
Rogue tried it on this map on the other positions, which are much better for it because the natural is a lot wider. But yeah, it's generally this kind of style we see from Protoss.
So speed on the way, as you did say. We do have 6-lings already coming out here for Dark, making that queen as well. I think he's going to stop at 6-lings, especially once he sees that wall. I don't think he's really going to be able to make much happen unless he really wants to commit to try to shut down this expansion, but I doubt that's going to work. No. Already putting down the hatchery.
Yeah, just a little bit of harassment with these lings. Going to try and find a way in. It's enough lings to kill one Zealot, which is maybe what he's going to be trying to go for. 6 lings going to do the work. But a second Zealot being chrono boosted out as well, very smartly by SOS.
Yeah, 4 lings getting here. He actually commits to 8 lings total. And he's going to start getting to work on that Nexus, already having a ton of health. It's going to finish up here. And 3 probes as well as 1 Zealot here. Maybe trying to get that surround you were talking about, but 2 Zealots are now out. 2 lings coming out as well. And with this early speed and early map control, he's going to take a fast third base. I like it. It's going to be necessary as well to stopping any kind of follow-up from the Protoss. You need to get that economy going.
Yeah, exactly right. The Nexus wasn't the fastest Nexus. You can't afford to kind of go into the speedling build and get a little bit of the later natural in third base. And with these speedlings, you are going to have complete map control. You're going to find any of those probes on the map, any sort of pylons that could be, potentially be some sort of point of aggression.
So the probe gets in the main base, and he sees that the gas is not being mined. And he also did not see the third base, so maybe confusing SOS a bit. He's like, okay, are you going for a third base, or are you just staying on 2 base safely but not getting gas? And
just focusing on droning, perhaps. Or maybe he kind of assumes that that third base is down because he's like, okay, no gas on the way, that the natural just got up. Really, there's a bit of a timing there. You can put down a third hatchery, so maybe that's what he's gone for. And we did see the Forge behind it, which is something we've seen a lot of Protosses add in recent times to deal with these kind of speedling aggression on this map.
Yeah, trading 1 ling for 1 probe. Definitely a good trade there. We do see a Stargate on the way for SOS. It's going to be very long before that creep gets connected between the third and the natural. So, of course, definitely a very viable tech you can go for. And what are you expecting here? You think he's gonna go Phoenix or
I think it's
Oracle?
Gonna be Oracle for this one because it is in a position that isn't gonna be scouted anytime soon. I think it's definitely sort of the Oracle positioning for it, and not a bad choice at all, really. With this Forge as well, it means you can get an earlier +1. You can go for a safer third base, using the Oracle as defense as well. He knows for sure that there's going to be speedlings on the map.
I'm surprised we didn't see that Overlord go for a scout a bit earlier because he's coming in now, but it's already at around 7:30.
That is a very late scout.
Already that Stargate is up here.
Normally we wanting to try and scout the base literally like a minute earlier, so you can kind of catch the tech as it goes down and make the appropriate static defense or army.
Well, he is going to get the scout regardless, so maybe paying off and not losing that Overlord as early as he would have.
Still perfect timing, essentially. He's going to have those spores completely ready by the time it comes in. We are seeing that +1 on the way as well, Brendan.
Yeah, they're going to possibly get another pro kill here, and he will not. And okay, now he does. But he did trade a little bit more of those lings than he wanted to.
Yeah, I doubt he's going to commit to any sort of massive swell of Zerglings because he did see that Oracle in the making. So he's like, well, even if I did manage to overwhelm the Zealots, there's going to be a Mothership Core and an Oracle shooting my Zerglings. I'm not going to be canceling this Nexus anytime soon. So it is going to be a safe third base. And things are going to kind of progress to that mid-game. We're going to see roaches on the map.
Yeah. I don't think SOS is going to commit to too much damage here. He's just going to get a nice scout of the base as well as keeping that Oracle alive for any possible Ling push, as you were talking about. Sometimes Zergs do like to go for that, but with that Oracle, not really going to be able to do much. And he's just transitioning right out of this into Twilight Council. Out of this, of course, we can see a Blink follow-up. We already see +1 about done. Maybe you go for the +2 right on the timing and get some Blink, and a really nice follow-up of a lot of Blink Stalkers can do a lot of damage if you are not prepared for it as the Zerg.
Yeah, we can see a lot of aggression like that on this map. Great scouting from this Oracle. Knows exactly what's going on, sees everything, even sees the Roach Warren upgrading, Roach speed. He's like, okay, Roaches can be on the map. I don't think he caught the Infestation Pit just yet. If he did, he would have probably thrown down a Robo instantly. Instead, for now, going to be playing towards that Blink Stalker, as you were saying, Valdez.
Yeah. And you think out of this, Stark is just going to go for a Swarmos?
I think that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here. He's going to be going for that Ling Roach sort of early game to deal with any sort of aggression into that Swarmos play while he takes that 4th base. Not a bad choice in this map. It is pretty easy to defend all avenues with Swarmos, with some static defense. Kind of split this map out at least to 5 base. Beyond there, it gets a little bit more trickier, obviously, as the other bases are a little bit out there.
Yep, we already got Enduring Locust on the way, and 2 Swarm Hosts, 3 Swarm Hosts now. Going to be looking to push out a lot of those. Those are going to be very good against this kind of Blink Stalker play that is coming out of SOS. We do have the Robo coming down now, but still no Robo Bay. He's adding a couple more gates over there, possibly just for a wall, but of course he will be able to make a lot more gateway units in the future if he wants to.
Yeah.
You do see that Robo get down and the Observer be made first here.
Okay. I wonder if he's going to be throwing down a second Robo perhaps when he has finally scattered. It is going to be Swarm Host. I don't think he's seen him just yet, but he might have a kind of idea at this point. He's trying to find something with these hallucinations as well as Oracle. And he did scout that 4th base, so he looks like he's going to be making his way across the map with his pretty small-sized Blink Stalker army just to do some harassment, force out units.
Oh, and really smartly out of Dark. He's going to try to go for a counterattack, but at the same time, SOS is a very, very nice building placement here.
Yeah, but I mean, it's only 2 cannons. It's not going to be enough against 6 Roaches. We are seeing a Warp in, but nice links around.
Yeah, and this is going to force SOS to turn totally around to defend this. Already the Roach is getting a lot of damage done to some of these probes, trying to take down some of the Stalkers as well. Nice warping of Zealots here to get the fire of these Roaches, so in fact not actually getting that much damage done to the workers here.
Well, I mean, I guess the one massive thing is that he had to force the army to turn around, which is,
yeah, of course,
for like 10 Lings and 6 Roaches, pretty worth it when you're transitioning into Swarm Hosts. Securing that 4th base, getting the gases on it, not taking any economic damage this game so far. That is absolutely fantastic for this player, Dark.
And he's already up to 10 Swarm Hosts at this point. He's about halfway done with this +2. But like you were saying before, the appropriate response does come out of SOS, and we're going to see double Robo Colossi now being made to deal with these Swarm Hosts as we push later and later into this game, Moonglade.
Yeah, we're getting later and later. He wants to have at least 3 Colossi before he wants to start moving out into the map and trading with these Locusts. When it gets to that stage, you can kind of deal with most of them before they get to your army. Obviously, you will still need some buffering with some Zealots, and then some Guardian Shield will help out a lot. And we'll have to wait and see if SOS is going to be going for the more of the aggressive sort of bulldoze through and try and just end the game once you have like sufficient Colossus, or is he going to play for the even later game and go for the Templar and take it to that next stage? But he's going to need a 4th base for that. We are seeing him clear that now while he makes 2 Colossi at a time.
Templar Archives now on the map here. Looks like he may go into Storm against Swarm Hosts. If you want to totally shut them down, you can, of course, go for Storm as well as Colossi, and the Locusts just melt. Of course, they are very strong against Vipers as well. You can feedback them out of the air before they pull your Colossi. But of course, that requires a lot of micro. You got to be in position. Yeah. Look at this, rushing into Greater Spire. Here's Dark.
Wow, this is a very smart move. It's also another sort of transition you can make, which is kind of, I guess, the next stage when you're dealing with if there's enough Colossi and Templar on the map. You go, okay, well, you don't have really any hard anti-air. I can go into Broodlords from here.
Observer is taken out.
He needs that. Great Obduct. That was the one Colossus with the army. There's going to be no damage found here.
Yeah, man, you were talking about before you want to move out with 3 Colossi, but only taking 1, it gets him instantly pulled.
Yeah, well,
and now he's fighting against Locusts inefficiently. He's going to lose some of his units over there. We do see him trying to harass with that Warp Prism.
At least he kind of found out that the Viper's on the map already, so he's like, okay, I need Templar now. Warping in 4, Storm on the way, +3 nearly finished. He has a lot of Colossus at home that he's going to need to deal with these Locusts. As he's coming now, there's 4 just waiting. So he should be okay.
Colossus has to get back. And opening up another pathway there is Dark, possibly looking for some Roaches to run by into the natural, possibly into the main, while he is defending out of that 3rd base. And all of these robotics techs are all out in the open here.
Oh, man. This is not good. No more Colossi for a long time. He's got to be so careful with the ones he has because those Vipers are going to be looking for the Abducts.
Do see a drop here into the main with a Warp Prism, but enough Roaches to clean this up pretty easily. Dark really doing a nice job here of shutting down all the harass while getting a lot of damage done himself.
Oh, Templar out of position. We are seeing 3 Colossi go down. Only 1 remains.
And he didn't even lose that many roaches in the fight. He lost all the locusts, of course. And, man, we got 10 Corruptors on the way. Those can easily be made into those Broodlords. Look at the bank here of Dark. He's doing very, very well for himself, although this is a very big drop here into the natural.
Yeah, there's a big warp in. It's going to help out a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh, my God.
All the Robo facilities are being destroyed, and you know what? You need Colossus to deal with these Swarm hosts. If you do not have Colossus, you're just going to eventually lose everything. You have to have something to clear them up.
You see no charge on the Zealots.
9 Broodlords on the way. We are seeing 1 Void Ray in production, but I think that's kind of more of a desperation move from SOS, less about, you know what, he's going Broodlords, because he's running out of tech. You know, he doesn't have the ability to make Colossus anymore. He needs something to help out.
Yeah. We do see a fleet beacon on the way, which tells me that SOS does know this is going to go into that, you know, very strong Zerg air army, that late game army with the Broodlords and the possibly Infestors a little bit later on as well, but Corruptors 4 now to protect against this. And he's now adding the Stargates as well, but I'm not sure if this transition is early enough, man.
Yeah, I guess it's going to come down to how much of a distraction can he create with this Warp Prism. So far, he's kind of turned the army around for a little bit, but now we see Dark gearing up to attack once again into the natural.
Yeah, man. One thing our observer has been showing us time and time again is that charge upgrade. I guess SOS just not really remembering it or deciding to get other techs because he was a bit desperate. But that charge is just so important for getting a lot of damage done with your drops. So far, the drops of SOS have done basically nothing. Really nice defense so far. The entire game by Dark. And these Locusts, man, just a small amount of them getting so much damage done.
So much damage done. We do see 2 Colossus on the map for now. 3 Tempests in production. He needs them out ASAP. But once they're out, they're going to help out a great deal, actually, against these Broodlords. But still, even then, there's a lot of Corruptors that can help buffer for them.
Yeah, and by the time they get out, already so much damage has been done at the front. The second Robo goes down, and all those gateways going down as well. Locust now threatening at the 3rd base. Roach is going to shut down this top left base. There's no defense up here, not even a cannon.
There's just damage happening everywhere. All of the bases of SOS are being torn apart. Down goes the natural. No doubt about that. 3rd base will no doubt be the next one.
Oh, no.
Oh,
cancels the mothership.
Also a vital piece for that late game army.
Yeah, SOS looks destroyed, man. Look at him in the booth. He looks desperate at this point.
This is the Dark that we wanted to see in the individual leagues, in GSL and SSL. Finally today, he gets to play the game he wants to play, and play it damn well at that. And I think at this point, it's almost checkmate, Valdez. He has kind of got every tech he needed. He's forced SOS into so many awkward positions. His bases are crippled. His army is crippled.
Yeah, we do see Dark now trying to focus down the Nexus. It's not going to work, but at the same time, he's got so many Swarm hosts in position that are protected by the huge air army of Dark at the same time. This entire main is left alone at this point. SOS trying to protect his other 2 bases that are mining. But I don't know, man. Even looking at the supplies, it's 200 to 150, and that 150 is barely even moving.
Yeah, that is enough Tempest to one-shot a Broodlord if it gets in range. One thing to note, but it's about getting there is the next problem. But here we go. First of all, gonna get rid of 1 Viper.
Now 1 Viper getting a little bit ahead of itself. Another Corruptor going down as well. Looks like Dark actually just wants to fight this straight up. Trying to get in position here. Corruptor's trying to focus down those Tempests as fast as possible. Some of the Broodlords aren't going down. Those Stalkers have not been blinked at this point in time because there are so many Broodlings on the ground, and it looks like everything in the air here for the Protoss is going to go down by the huge amount of Corruptors in the air. And GG is called. SK Telecom and Dark will take game number 4.
Finally, Dark wins a game. Things are looking fantastic once again for SKT. Bringing out that player. They're essentially their ace Zerg player currently. Things swing back in favor of SKT, and next map going to be King Stage on Station, Valdez. Who do we see come out now?
That is the question, Inglade, of course. Dark, though, really incredible game. He pretty much played that flawlessly. Nothing that SOS did in that game really did too much damage. He had total control the entire time. We saw that macro Zerg of Dark really come into form there, controlling the early game with the speed, taking a couple quick extra bases, and just really exploding there. SOS kind of just following the natural Protoss path, you know, Stargate into Blink Stalker, but then you get countered by Swarm hosts, so you need Colossi. Then you get countered by the the Vipers as well. He lost a bunch of Colossi very early on in that mid game, so just not in the greatest stage there for SOS. Whereas Dark was really just controlling the entire thing.
Exactly, he was manipulating the army again and again, and SOS kind of just ran out of answers before he could deal with the Swarm host aggression. It was really well played, perfectly played from Dark, complete control the whole time, and now comes down to Jinad. Do they want to bring out Maru yet? Do they want to bring out Rogue? Do they think Rogue can actually do a ZVZ like this? Dark has dropped some ZVZs in the past, especially macro ZVZs. And
yeah, he has.
King Sejong Station, man, is a pretty big macro map.
That it is. Rogue did have a bit of a highlight in the ZVZ, going 3-0 against Sulky in the round of 32 of the SSL, but I believe there was another match recently where he didn't look too good in ZVZ. You were saying how he doesn't have the biggest confidence in the world as well, and going up against a guy like Dark, who has like the most amount of confidence on anyone on SKT, it could be a hard map for him, I have to say.
It can be a very, very hard one.
Whereas Maru has shown that he can 2-0 Dark pretty easily, so I don't know, we'll have to see. But guys, we're going to go to a 10-minute break. We'll be right back.